So at this point I thought I'd show you a bit of the underside of Vida, of our sustainable sailing yacht. So let's see what we can manage here. A bit of a first for me. Rotate round. We have our rudder, and the rudder, very important for us, is protected by this skeg. So if you that's the rudder post coming down there and the rudder blade that moves behind it. So if you happen to be unfortunate enough to hit a tree, a log or something, it's going to come crashing into here, which is really solid, and it's not going to damage or bend your rudder there. So that's one of the things that we really looked for in a boat. Down here you can see our propeller, convenient place at the moment to hang the electricity supply from. On the blog we've been talking about our Seacocks and fittings, so I should just show you some of them. I'm not going to do that in selfie mode because it won't work, so just hang on a sec. Okay, that's easier for me because I'm not used to doing this yet. So you can just see a bolt poking out there. That's the first Seacock that I'm removing, which was the very inaccessible one for water intake into the aft toilet. You can see perhaps it's got a strainer on it to stop the pump sucking up debris. Then above that here we've got the other two Seacocks for that aft toilet. The left hand one towards the front of the boat was the outlet for the toilet, and the right hand one outlet for the basin. Above it, this isn't a Seacock, but it's a hole with going up as a drain for the deck. So instead of that getting that green stain all the way down the side of the boat, right from up there, from the edge of the boat it goes into a pipe and just comes out there. And there is another one there on this side, two on each side. Going back down low, we've got two Seacocks here. The right hand one is the one that was condemned by the survey. When you look at it very close, I'm sure I can't pick it up on here, but when you look at it very close they scrape it away and the brass colour has got little pink bits in it, which means it's corroding. The left one of those two drains the cockpit, so if a wave breaks into the boat it comes out there. It's so low to make sure that it can flow downwards easily even when you're heeling, but it's a little bit inaccessible. Okay, that great big thing is the engine exhaust. At some point it will be cleared of cobwebs, I guess. Then going further forward we've got the second drain for the cockpit. That's where the hand pump, if you get a leak, that's where you can pump it out through. And then going down here we've got the one with the strainer is a saltwater intake, so that's if you want to wash up with salt water to save your precious fresh water. And the other one is the waste from the galley sink, the kitchen sink. We go further forward, a long way further forward, and we come to the forward toilet compartment. So again we've got three for that. So we've got inlet for pumping water in to flush the toilet, toilet out, wash basin out. And then as we go round to the other side of the boat we've got a paddle wheel here, which is for measuring speed, but as you can see it has got some barnacles on it, they easily get blocked. There's a nearly hole there, well it's a filled hole. That's the sensor for measuring water depth, so that it is much more accurate if it doesn't have to go through the bottom of the boat. As we go along this side of the boat, this side's very clear of holes. We've got the two drains again for the deck, and down there we've got the other drain for the cockpit, so one each side. Further back, this rather messy corroded thing is supposed to corrode. It's called an anode. It's there so that if you get an electric current causing dissimilar metals to corrode. This is the softest. This corrodes first. It should be properly connected inside the boat to everything as a full good earth, but it isn't. So it not only needs replacing, but we need to reconnect up the earth supply everywhere. And as it's easier while I'm not doing it in selfie mode, here again is the rudder from the other side. Big metal plate you can see bolted on the bottom so that the rudder is supported top and bottom, can't fall out, can't get damaged by debris in the water. So there is the underside of Vida. Big keel. I didn't talk about the keel, but it's a hefty keel, quite long. It's also, if we come round to the front you can see it best, quite thick. So it's called encapsulated, so the fiberglass goes all the way around it. It's not bolted on as an extra onto the boat later. It's moulded into the fiberglass from the beginning, and then it's filled with something heavy. We assume it's iron, but haven't actually seen anything that tells us exactly what it is, but only racing boats use lead because it's so expensive. So that's underside. The keel is not fully solid, by the way. The section about here has a water tank in it, so several hundred litres of water in a stainless steel tank in the bottom of the keel. Well, not all the way down, some way down to about there, I guess, which is a really good place to have it. Okay, that's your underwater tour.